Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan, and this podcast is about making a better you. And we are part of the Capitalize Your Best podcast network. We are part of a network of 4 shows. On Mondays, we have the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, which, like I said, is about making a better you. This is about a personal growth podcast. And then we also have on Tuesdays the recently relaunched Coach Training Partners podcast, and that's about developing coaches for programs, enabling new programs, and helping coaches monetize the revenues the ones they already have. Wednesday, we have the Capitalize Your Best podcast, which is about business and marketing growth. Nothing on Thursday right now. But on Fridays, we have the You're Entitled to Your Opinion podcast, which is just a fun show, reviews, genre, horror, action, that kind of thing. In the midst of the podcast network, we really needed something that was just fun. And that's what the You're Entitled to Your Opinion podcast is all about. But I want to say thank you for tuning in, especially last week. Last week, I shared a recap of the Williamsburg Marathon. I was just hours across the finish line. And that was received so well. You guys were really kind to me. Got a lot of great response. Thank you so much for, first of all, the encouragement for the podcast. Thank you so much for that. And then, of course, just thank you for listening, liking, subscribing, and all things you guys do. So this week, before we hop into the show, I'm excited that I just released a brand new book. I've got my writing groove back on, and I wrote a business fable called Capitalize Your Best, a fable of lessons from Sam. Now, a business parable, there's a genre of books out there, the five dysfunctions of a team, richest man in Babylon, greatest salesman in the world, instant millionaire. These are usually short books that are intended to teach business lessons. And I'm a big fan of them and recently have returned to a couple of them. I'm finishing up the Instant Millionaire right now. And it got me thinking about my dad. Now, my mom and dad own several businesses together. My dad has several ventures. My dad and my mom and dad started a flower shop, and my dad taught piano and he did pottery. And he wasn't immensely successful at all in those things. And I thought, what lessons would he want me to take away from that? Like, what would he want me to learn? What would he want me to do differently? So that's the setting of the book. And so what I do is in the book, I revisit my father in 3 dreams, and he shares a lesson from each one of the ventures, the flower shop, piano, and pottery. And I take some liberties with it, of course. And it's a nice breezy read. I'm going to put a link in the show notes. I'm very proud of this. And so it's available on paperback and Kindle on Amazon. And I'm sure my mom's story is coming up. But right now, really excited about this. So check it out. It's charted well already. We're already in the top 40 of some small business books. So very thankful for that. But that's coming out. Please check out Capitalize Your Best, a fable of lessons from Sam. And by the way, Sam was my father's affectionate nickname. So very excited to see that come out. Thank you. But I've got an event coming up, and it's going to be the topic today. Really, the topic is the topic, but then the event is the opportunity to advance on it. And I've got a seminar on December 9th. It's an all-day seminar between 9 and 3 here in Fredericksburg. And it's called Decade in a Day. Now, I got this idea from a combination of places. I've been doing the third Tuesday of every month, the Capitalize Your Best Life workshops from 2 to 4. And then the fourth Tuesday of each month, I'll be doing Capitalize Marketing Labs. And these have been intimate, personal workshop coaching sessions and intimate personal marketing coaching sessions. So on the third Tuesday, we'll break down topics like attacking the victim mentality or being your best when things are at the worst. And that's the topic of the one coming up next week. And then the fourth Tuesday has been the marketing lab. And that's where that's where I teach on a specific marketing concept. And the second half of it, we actually start creating that content or doing the thing. And so it's a lab because we're actually doing the work. And those are going to continue into 2026. I think when I do an assessment of this year, it's going to be the thing that I'm most proud of starting. But I've been itching for a longer all day interaction. We've done some of those before at Capitalized Marketing. We did 2 John Maxwell events, Leadership, and one about next level thinking. And I haven't done an all day one in a while because it's a lot to ask. I mean, to get a bunch of people in a room and commit an entire day, it's really hard. So that's been in my mind. And I'm like, wow, I'd really like to do something, to help folks kind of plan out the next year. And then I'm listening to a Russell Brunson podcast, the Marketing Secrets podcast. It's got like 3 names for it. The founder of ClickFunnels, and he does a thing called Decade in a Day with some of his, higher coaching level folks. And I thought that's a great idea. So I did a little research, and I can use Decade in a Day. There's no problem with me using it. And I decided that's what I want to do. I want to do some long-term planning with some folks. We map out a decade's worth of plans in one day. And so this is going to be on December 9th, and it's 9 to 3 here in Fredericksburg. The details are all in the show notes. I'm going to take the first half, and I'm going to walk through the personal planning. What's the personal planning we do for our health, our mindset, our physical fitness, our nutrition, our relationships? And I'm going to guide that. And then we're going to have lunch. Lunch is provided in the second half, starting at 1 o'clock. My good friend Dom Lapore, who's the CEO of RPI Group, is going to come in, and he's going to lead us through some business mind mapping and leadership that's going to help us map out our business strategies for the next month, for the next 10 years. And we'll have a small social afterwards. And it's going to be limited to 8 people. We're going to be in the conference room of the Out of the Box co-working space in Fredericksburg. But what I really wanted to think through with you is, what does it look like to do long-term planning? Long-term planning is absolutely useless unless you actually implement the plan. I mean, as we all know, the atomic habits, we don't rise to the level of our goals, but to fall to the level of our systems. So if we do some long-term planning, we've got to have some systems in place. Well, this is step 1. And I'm more and more convinced that the effectiveness of long-term planning and the reiteration of those things on a daily basis help us accomplish them. Physically writing down goals, writing down affirmations, listening to them, removing the clutter and the distractions of other things that keep us from our goals. As I am doing my planning, and I'll share more of you with us here on the show, and much more at Decade for a Day. My goal is going to be to remove distraction and add affirmation. And that's one of the things I want to help us to work on. Like, what is it that is distracting us that we can remove? And then how do we affirm and reaffirm where we're going to go? And so that becomes a daily ritual. And there's a scene in The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, that iconic role of him as the Joker. And he sends out a video threatening Gotham. And he said, as of tonight, I'm a man of my word. And that's what I want for us. I want us to be people of our word. I want us to make plans, and I want us to keep them. And not just what are we going to do to close out the year, what are we going to do in 2026? Those are important, but what's the 10-year plan? And in that 10-year plan, I want us to take massive plans and then just shorten them and get them shorter and shorter time frames, so that our mind is much more focused on it. That's a lot of the approach in books like 10X is easier than 2X. And that's the idea we're going to do here. And we're going to give you strategies of how you can map those things out. My encouragement to you, even if you don't come to the workshop, is this. Long-term planning leads to short-term success if you have a strategy. Long-term planning leads to short-term success if you have a strategy. And there's plenty of books that you could read to implement that. But the reason I'm doing a workshop, though, is community gives feedback, and bringing in experts help us to remove things that remove ignorances that we have, and give us the ability of areas that we don't. And so, I mean, imagine if you mapped out a 10-year plan for your physical health, your relational health, and your financial health. And you might say, well, Gordon, does your life look like you thought it would 10 years ago? And I'm like, well, of course not. But I didn't do a 10-year plan 10 years ago. I did a 3-year plan about 4 years ago. And a lot of that came to fruition. And the things that I didn't implement, I should have. And that's where it stops now. It's like, I'm going to put together some strategies. And I really see this in my running. Like when I'm running and I'm training for a marathon, I have a training plan. I know what I'm doing. every single day. So when I wake up, I'm like, I know I got to go do 7 miles today. I got to go 10. I got to do 20, whatever the case may be. And when I have that plan, I wake up. I don't have anything to negotiate. Just get up and go do it. And that kind of plan is what has led to my success. I know that before I was a Boston qualifier and a Boston runner, I didn't follow a set plan down to the paces. I knew how many miles I was going to run, but now I've got like pace goals, and I'm going to hit those pace goals because they're that specific. And the more specific I drive down, the more specific the result. And that's what I'm hoping for you in this workshop, but then also just generally in your life, that you start making plans. And you can't make plans for other people, but you can make plans for yourself. Now, if you make plans and those plans affect other people, you got to let them know, hey, this is where I'm going. Like, for example, if you're like, hey, I'm not drinking in 2026, you got to tell the people around you, hey, I'm not drinking alcohol in 2026. Get on board. Don't give me a hard time. Or I'm training for a marathon. Get on board. I don't want a hard time. And so we really want to get those specific plans and strategies in place so you know them. You can become affirming them. Tell the people who need to know, but otherwise keep it quiet, and then just put things in place. And guys, this is an expensive workshop. To some extent, it's $279, but we're taking you all day long. I'm bringing in experts. We're feeding you, we're reserving the space, and I think it's going to be worthwhile. I think it's going to be a small penny to pay for the impact that's going to be made in your life. There is an Eventbrite registration link in the show notes, so I want you to check that out so that you can get registered. There's only space for 8 people. And I've got 2 people who've committed but not signed up yet, so we got to see. But guys, I think it's going to make a tremendous difference in everyone's lives. I know it's going to be in mine. I can't wait to hear what Dom's going to walk us through. It's just phenomenal, and it's a great space to do it. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, tomorrow, on Tuesday is the Coach Training Podcast. Wednesday is the Capitalize Your Best. Fridays, you're entitled to your opinion. Like and subscribe to all of them. Let people know about this network, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week. Guys, thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.